Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode we are going to be reviewing Wells Township Haunted House in Brilliant, Ohio. And every time I just see that out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, what's happening over there?
Me being weird, that's what's happening.
If you're unfamiliar with this haunt, it is a very unique haunt, and if you want to know more details, we did a documentary, and they were kind of like the focus on it. It has 4 haunted houses. Wells Township, of course, Factory of Terror, Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory, and this was before they got taken over, so that's kind of nice to kind of go back and look to see what it kind of used to was, as now, and Bloodview, yeah. So yeah, check that out. But no, this place is unique in that you get a tour guide and you go from room to room. So you don't just walk through the thing. It's more of like a spooky, interactive kind of show. Kind of like we've referenced Wells Township and Fearscapes and Terror Labs. Those are similar in concept to what Wells is. But Wells, probably does it the best. They've been doing it, as far as I know, this type of haunt the longest. Again, as far as what we've been to and stuff like that. And it's ran by really awesome people as well. It's part of our ticket giveaway. So maybe if you're watching this, you got to go to it maybe you will be going to it, because this will be probably before the weekend. So, yeah. But before we get into the review, haunt season's coming to an end, so make sure to check out the other stuff we do. We do a podcast called Creeps, Creatures, and Haunts.
Oh my.
That is uploaded to the YouTube channel as well as actual podcast form, so you can just listen to it or watch the video form. We talk about real hauntings, real cryptids. Sometimes we do interviews with people and stuff like that. We have 30-some episodes. You can go check that out on either the podcast, which is the link in the description, or watch the videos, which is on the YouTube channel. We do Haunted Adventures, which is real ghost hunting, stuff like that. And a whole bunch of other stuff with vlogs. Sometimes we just go to creepy abandoned places. Sometimes we eat stuff. There's other stuff on the channel, so don't stop watching the channel when it's not Halloween time, because we're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and get right into the review, which of course means we have to refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead!
Alright, so of course that starts us off with sets and props. This place, like we said, it is very unique because each room is kind of like a little vignette that they tell you, like a little story that they tell you, and then you get a scare and then you move on. They do, one of the cool things about this place is that they do tear down 90% of the haunted house every year and start fresh. So you usually can go every year and get a different show.
Yeah.
I know there's a few things that are still there that they always have. They built their own vortex tunnel. And they have, Sean's favorite thing right now is the Donkey Kong thing, and there's a few other little things in there that are fun surprises. Yeah,
and that's one of the most interesting things too about this place is I've never been to another haunt like this. Haunt, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but there's high-tech type scares, little mini rides, if you will, in the haunt, where you'll be told to stand against the wall and then the whole room just starts moving. And there's multiple instances of this. You'll get to go down a slide. It's just fun how many unique and inventive things there is. Now, Wells Township is usually not the most detailed, most elaborate haunt, because again they do tear it down, but what it does to make up for that is these really interactive, weird things that happen. And the scenes are still decorated very well, but I'm just saying, some you go and it's just the scene is always there, so it's absolute perfection and looks like you're walking through a movie set. And some of the scenes are kind of like that, but it's more about being interactive in this fun kind of story that's kind of being told.
Yes.
But yeah, like she said, the Donkey Kong thing, and I don't really want to spoil some of this stuff, but you'll know when you see it. That's a really weird interactive scene. At one point, they made us play a little game of basketball, where you have to not basketball, you have to throw something through a hoop. Yeah. There's just all kinds of stuff, and a lot of it's hard because a lot of it is mixed with the actors so well. Mm-hmm. So the actors are really a big part of that scene. But there was a really cool one where you they wanted to do a like swamp type of scene. So they actually built like rope bridges you have to like walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was cool, and it looks like, that there's like water underneath of you. I really did like that. I do like that they don't do the just black maze anymore, and the bridge is what replaced the black maze. I was excited to see it actually be like a big full-fledged like scene instead of just like a switchback maze.
Yeah, so they had like a bunch of different like weird just odd ideas. Like there's a clown room at one point. It's a really cool church scene that I actually thought was pretty well done.
That was cool. That was really
very
cool.
well done. There's a funeral at one point, an exorcism. There's a wonky Jack in the Box that's kind of cool. And then in the notes it says Scooby-Doo wall. There is a Scooby-Doo wall. If you know what a Scooby-Doo wall is, you'll know what we're talking about.
Switcheroo.
Yeah.
It has 2 endings, which is also fun.
Yes.
So you could go 2 different times.
Yeah. We always get the privilege because, I mean, they were part of our documentary, so we kind of know about it, and we know the ins and outs of the place. And we always get that special privilege of getting to see both endings,
and
which
both
is nice.
and both were cool. There's one that's kind of like a elevator ride, but it's like their own elevator, so it's not like one you've rode before.
Yeah.
It's a bit more intense, and then there was a cool funeral scene one kind that she mentioned earlier, which that one had a fun scare, if you will, that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to ruin it, but something happens in the scene that I just wasn't expecting to happen, which I found to be just really cool. But yeah, as always, like the sets and props, like the scenes and stuff they have are just so much fun. All of the weird interactive just stuff. It's almost kind of like a fun house at times, like because of like the way everything is, because it just feels like the haunted house itself like is part of like like it's a character itself is what I'm trying to say, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So we gave sets and props a 9.5.
All right. Moving on to actors. You do get a tour guide.
There's a couple different ones. I don't remember all of them, but there's like multiple different tour guides you can get. It's not always the same one. And they all have their own character. So they're not just a normal tour guide. Like each one is like their own character.
Yeah, and they do bring it out a little bit. Like they'll make you do certain things. They'll tell you certain rules and stuff. We had one that was very gothic.
Yeah,
and,
I really liked her. I don't remember.
I don't recall her name, unfortunately, but she was very cool. I liked her little corset thing that she had.
Yeah, I really liked her. Yeah.
A lot of that, like we said, everything is kind of like a little mini story. So it is very actor driven.
Yes.
Very actor driven, because they have to tell this story. They can't just stand there and be like, boo. They actually have to get you into that and then do the boo. Some of the standouts were in the carnival area, clownish carnival area. There was a lion that was in a cage.
I think he was younger. And then there was also there's a ringleader. He was really cool.
Yeah, he was very cool. Yeah, he was very maniacal, I guess you could say. He just kept laughing. Like, we weren't even it wasn't even his part. Like, it was the other thing going on that we were watching, and he's just in the corner and he's just doing his own little thing. Like, he was just flailing about, and you could hear him laughing every so often. He was just like, and it was just he was really into it.
Yeah, he was really into
really
it.
Cool.
And they do touch here, so do keep that in mind. They are allowed to touch here. I really liked the swamp bridge thing, because they do have the people in ghillie suits, and they're underneath, and they will reach up and grab your ankle. Sometimes they'll vault up over the bridge and jump in front of you, which is cool. I really liked them. We talked about that game that they make you play. That was really cool, and there is a neat scare on that one where they tell you to pick a prize off the prize wall, and there might be something bad behind that wall. The Exorcist girl, as I have her there, that was unique. The way the scene unfolds, you kind of get a double scare where, you find, there's the exorcist and then, the girl that's possessed. And then she ends up, breaking free of her restraints, I guess it is. And then like the lights go off and they come back on, and then there's someone else also in the scene that's like in front of you to get you again. The church scene, that was the cool one, like the sacrifice scene inside the church.
Yeah, that was really cool, because it's weird, because the way that this place is set up, like, you can't tell when people are moving around, because it's so dark in there. Like, I don't know how they do it, because, like, usually I can tell if someone walks in front of me. And here, for some reason, I cannot tell when people get in front of me.
They have it, however they have it set up in there, it gets, when the lights go off, it's like pitch black.
Yeah.
Not dark, but pitch black, because, every scene has a different type of scare, but most end in some type of scare. So some of them, something will happen, the lights go off, and they come back on, and then, sometimes the room's transformed, sometimes there'll be actors, right in your face. You never know exactly what's going to happen, but you can basically expect some type of scare to be at the end of each thing that you go through. But the ones where they were, because that was kind of like the sacrifice scene when the lights went off and they come back on, there were people, right in front of us, and you kind of knew it was going to happen, but you don't know when the lights are going to come back on, and you can't see them at all, so it's like,
I know.
There's nowhere to go because there's just a wall behind you.
Yeah, and the anticipation, and you're just like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then there they are, and you're like, oh, okay. So of course, because this is such an actor driven, and they really did a really good job, we did give them a 10. Yeah,
everyone is just really good, and there's a lot of dialogue that they have to say, and just this year, everyone was just, really perfect on their dialogue and everything like that. So we really didn't have any problems with the actors. And because of how they employ people or whatever at this haunt, too, we've had a lot of problems with a lot of haunts not having enough actors this year. It's just been a thing, just like every industry. But this place definitely felt like there was plenty of them. And with the way the scenes are set up, they kind of have the advantage of, even if there's less of them, to still make the scene work, since it's not just a normal walk through this hallway and get jump scared. It's a different thing. So, we didn't really have any problems with there not being enough actors either. There definitely felt to be plenty. Actually, it felt, and I could be completely wrong, but it felt like there were more this year than there has been. We didn't get to go in 2020, but it feels like there's more than there has been the last couple years we've went.
There was quite a few. Yeah, there was quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really surprised, because, at one point, that one room, I think the bathroom, whatever that was. I think it was a clown room. There was a lot of people in there. Yeah. And they came out of nowhere, and I'm just like, okay, that's a lot of people in this room.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're the one she had me hold a squid or whatever.
Yeah. Monkey.
Oh, yeah, she called it monkey, but it was a squid thing. Who knows?
Moving on to scare factor. Again, they will touch you here, which actually kind of adds on to that scare element.
It does.
It is very theatrical, but they do still have jump scares in here. They do have, when you're kind of walking into a scene, they might have a hallway with a little jump scare in it, or a drop panel or something.
Right.
That'll get you while you're because you're thinking, oh, there's nothing here, and then there is something there. A lot of the scenes are very interactive. They might have you do stuff our friend went with us, and she actually had to play a carnival game. She had to throw a ball. They might have you, grab something, or sit on something, or do something in there.
Right.
So yeah, it is fairly scary.
It is fairly scary. Now, I do feel like over the last few years, they've tamed it down a little bit as they've become more popular. And it could just be with so many people rotate in and out of this, of the people that are the actors and stuff, because the first few years I went there, there was some real crazy stuff this place used to do. They don't do as crazy things anymore. Yeah. Like the Dinkest 5000 or 2000, which was basically a box they put you in and dropped you through a floor. They don't have that anymore. And I remember the first year I went, they tied me to a board and put me on my back and sprayed squirt guns in my face. So they've tamed down on that stuff. I do feel like this one, even though they touch and it is kind of scary, because of the interactive nature and it's more theatrical, I feel like it could be okay for people that are a little bit younger. But it's also, and I feel like they're good enough to know, they tend to kind of go after everyone, not just the person that seems the most scared, which I like too.
Yeah.
And I feel like they adjusted. If someone's freaking out, they'll probably focus more on the people that aren't freaking out as well. But scare factor is still pretty good. This place, I do feel like, is more focused on being fun and scary instead of just being scary.
Yeah.
So we gave scare factor an 8.5. So it's still pretty decently scary, though.
So that brings us up to value. This place is $14 to get in.
Yeah.
It's cheap. Really cheap.
And that's at the gate. Online, it's $20 because I believe if you do it online, it's like a timed thing where you can like choose a time to arrive. I do believe that's why it's more online, I think.
Okay.
And then you can do VIP for $25. It takes about I kind of forgot to do the stopwatch when we went into this place, but I believe it was 20 to 25 minutes is how long it takes to go through it all. That's how long it usually takes. And this place isn't the way it is, like, there's not really any room to expand. Like, it is what it is, so it's almost the same length every year unless a scene goes longer. But, you know, they generally keep things at the same time to keep people going through because they get busy.
Yeah.
It is worth mentioning, too, and I guess this is a good category to mention in, if you don't know, this place doesn't really have lines.
Yeah.
It's a time ticketing, and they have bands that play, I think, every night, or almost every night, but I think it's every night. You know, they have, I think it was open. It looked like, because there was a line, so I think they have the zombie
the zombie tag was open. It looked like it wasn't open when we walked in, but there was a line when we were leaving.
So I'm pretty sure that is open, and these are all just things. There's multiple different things, basically, you could do instead of just waiting in a line.
Yeah, there's bonfires all over.
Like barrels,
there's usually scare actors roaming around that'll get at you. You know, there's things to do and
there's
hang
a big
out
projection
and stuff like
screen,
that.
which looked even bigger this year. I think they got a bigger one. It looked huge.
Yeah, because Sean, he's one of the people that runs it. He said that they got their own like sound booth and new projection and things like that.
Yeah. So it's a fun atmosphere. So like even waiting in line, you know, can be fun. Just the line does get long though. So if you're trying to do multiple haunts, and there's quite a few good ones in this area, you might want to do the VIP. But yeah, for $14, that's so insanely low. It's crazy that I think that's the cheap. $14 is the cheapest one we've done this year.
Yeah.
We've done a couple $15 ones, but especially for a haunt that's been open as long as this and is as highly regarded as it is, for it to still be $14 is absolutely insane. So obviously the value is a 10. I mean, it's $14. If you haven't been to this one yet and you're anywhere within the area at all, you definitely would want to check it out. I mean, yeah, even if for some weird reason you don't like it, it was only $14.
Yeah, it's like...
We just got done to Philly, and we paid like $40 to $50 for every place, and most of them I did not like as much as Wells. So
Yeah.
But yeah, overall we gave them a 9.5. Really good show, and again, because they changed the scenes, and personal taste, of course, will vary. I really liked the scenes that they had built this year.
Yes.
I really liked the scares.
I did too.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the show this year, and the friend that we brought with us, she really liked this one as well, because we went to 3 this night, and she said that this one was her favorite. But that being said, we will have reviews for Darkview and Infernum in Terra, which are both about a half hour away from this place, and they're both pretty good haunts, so make sure to check out those reviews as well. They should be up after this one, because this one, well, you generally kind of like to put them up in the order that we went to the haunts for the most part. But yeah, that being said, make sure you like the video, leave us a comment, subscribe, and make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. That being said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.